This keeps the narcissist coming back. Yes, that is what we're going to be talking about in this live video. I'm just in my hotel room, just checked in now in Gong, Taiwan. Just been driving around exploring. Unfortunately, it has been raining quite a lot, so I haven't been able to see too much recently. But if you've looked on my Instagram story, you will see that I have put a few things up recently. If you don't know, it's Narc Survivor YouTube and Instagram. You can follow me on there and check out my posts. But yes, onto the topic of this video today. Let's talk about what keeps the narcissist coming back. Because I'm sure a lot of you may have been dealing with this, where it's like they do all of these weird things. They manipulate you, they abuse you, they insult you and put you down. They completely devalue you and treat you with contempt. But then at the same time, it's like they just can't leave you alone. It's like they just keep coming back. And you may look at it and wonder, what is going on? Because sometimes they may just flat out discard you. And they may go and find new supply. And then you give it some time and they're still coming back again. And at times they may even go through all these different sources. And it's like they never go back to them. But they just keep coming back to you. And you just can't figure it out. You don't understand. Why are you so important? Why do they need you so bad? And they will come back with the fake apologies, the false epiphanies, acting like now they finally get it, they're going to change. They've realized how special and important you are. And now they want to be serious with you. Sometimes they come back and they may even say that they're sorry. They finally understand it now. They know what they did wrong, and now they're going to change. And a lot of you who are trauma bonded, you may mistake this for love. Or at the very least, infatuation. Because it may look like they're obsessed with you. Like they just can't leave you alone. They're constantly blowing up your phone. They're messaging you all the time. They're always on your social media. And it's very confusing. It creates cognitive dissonance, these two conflicting beliefs. Because on one hand, it's like they devalued you, they discarded you. They told you you were bad, you were crazy. They didn't want anything to do with you. And then they're coming back, they're re-idealizing you. They're trying to love bomb you again. They're acting like you're so special. They may even tell you, I love you, I miss you, I can't live without you. And it just creates this cognitive dissonance in your mind to where you just don't understand, what are they even playing at? What are they even trying to do? And some of you, you may get tricked, you may get fooled into believing that they do actually care about you, into believing that they recognize your worth. But I don't know, those of you, if you didn't see my live video, I think it was about a couple of weeks ago, I did it in Vietnam, where I spoke about this fact, this truth, that in actuality, narcissists, they are not even physically attracted to people. They do not experience a sexual attraction in the way that we do. It may seem like they do when they first target us and we're having sex 2-3 times a day. It may seem that way in the beginning, but they're not doing those things because they're attracted to you or because they're even interested in sex. That has nothing to do with it at all. They use that for manipulation. They use it to control you, or even just to get validation for themselves. But they are not experiencing a connection with you. Narcissists cannot experience deep connections. They lack affective empathy. So they are never connected to you. They're connected to this image of you, which is whatever they deem to make themselves look good and to make them feel good about themselves. And this is why, you got to think about it. How can someone go from seeing you as this perfect person? They idealize you and it's like you're everything that they have been looking for. And then they go from that to completely devaluing you, to just no longer desiring you at all. You just got to think, how is that even possible? If they were really into you, they were attracted to you, they wouldn't be able to go from that to that. When all that actually happened is, in the beginning, they idealized you. They saw you as something that could complement their false image. But then after some time, they began to get envious of your qualities. It made them feel very insecure, so they began to compete with you. And then they devalued you. Because at that point, it was like you were outshining them. You were making them look bad in front of other people. You were outdoing them, surpassing them. So you were making them feel bad about themselves. And as I've said before, even their false image, many people mistakenly believe that a narcissist's false image is the most important thing to them. And this is something that you will find all over YouTube, all over Psychology Today, Quora, all of the websites. They all say that, yes, a narcissist image, that is the most important thing to them. But that is incorrect. That is invalid. There is something far more important than that. Something that drives this need for them to have the false image in the first place. And that is how they feel about themselves. If the false image made them feel bad, they would just get rid of it. They would create a new image and they would abandon everything that aligned or was associated with that image. So the most important thing to a narcissist is how they feel about themselves. Everything else doesn't matter. It's not important. It's just a means to get that feeling. Whatever makes them feel secure, comfortable, whatever validates the false image, that's all they care about. But even then, the image is not important. It all comes down to their feelings. Because remember, they're very insecure. They have low self-worth and self-esteem. They have an overinflated ego. They're very egotistical. They're very self-centered. So it's whatever is going to make them feel good in that moment. Which is why at times they idealize you, they love bomb you. And then other times they devalue you, they discard you. It all revolves around their feelings about themselves. And you are not even a participant in their fantasies, their illusions. You're not even there. You may think that you are sometimes, but notice how everything they describe that they like about you. And I've especially noticed this in my past experiences with narcissists as well. Everything that they say they like about you, it's just whatever they think will make them look good or make them feel good about themselves. Whatever presents this false image to the world. It's not ever something where it's just the two of you alone. And they show a genuine appreciation of your qualities, your abilities, your virtues, something unique about you, something that distinguishes you from other people. It is never something like that. It's always whatever they deem to be good, to be positive, to be attractive, desirable, based on what they've learned from other people, television or movies, celebrities. And not only that, but it's just whatever will improve their status. Depending on whether it's trending or popular. It just comes back to whatever will make them feel good. That is what keeps them coming back. And yet a lot of us, we are mistaken sometimes. We actually believe that they're coming back because they believe that we are special. When all it really is narcissistic supply. That's all they really care about. And I'm sure if they could separate, somehow find a way to separate the narcissistic supply from people who, of course, at the end of the day, they deem to be incompetent, unreliable, and all of these things. If they could somehow find a way to separate the supply from the person, I'm pretty sure they would just do that. It would be a lot easier for them. They wouldn't have to put in so much work. But they chase after us because they can't do that. Because they need us. It may look like they're addicted to us. They're just addicted to their supply. That's all they care about. And at times we may think that we were special to them, when the reality is that it could have been anyone. We just happen to be there. Some of us are empaths, but a lot of times that was just a coincidence. We just had weak boundaries. We trusted them. They don't really care about our empathy so much. They can do without that. And just look at it with the people that they surround themselves with. Narcissists are typically surrounded by other fake people. They're never surrounded by a bunch of empaths. or even normal people. They're just typically surrounded by other narcissists. And that's who they spend most of their time with. Because they can do without the empathy. As long as they're still getting supply. As long as it's someone who will feed into the illusion. Even if it is just two grandiose narcissists feeding a fantasy back to each other. Even then they will look at it like, who needs you? Because all you ever did was ruin the fantasy. You didn't want to play along. You wanted something real. And that is why they do typically, when they discard the empath, that is who they go running off to. A grandiose narcissist. And then they're posting their pictures all over social media, showing you everything that you're not, showing you that they're having such a great time without you. It seems to be a pattern. If you notice it, if you read the comments about other people's experiences, when they discard the empath, they typically go after a grandiose narcissist, this person who just lures them in and sells them a dream, because in that moment they're very gullible. And just think about that. If it was really about love, your uniqueness, what makes you different, why would they discard you and go chasing this image with someone else, likely another narcissist, if that was so important to them? They do not connect. They are not attracted to you or anyone else. The only thing they are really attracted to is themselves. And if you have a mirror by your bed, or the narcissist did, in their home, in their bedroom, remember back when you were intimately involved with them. If you look back, you remember, if you paid attention, what were they doing? When they were having sex with you, they were likely just looking at themselves in the mirror, rather than being connected, rather than being intimately involved with you. Sex with a narcissist is robotic. There's no intimacy, there's no connection. It just feels empty. It just feels like we are these sex objects. These sex toys that they use for their own masturbation. Because that's really the best that we will ever get from them. It's never a connection. Some of you may look back and think, it felt like a connection. It felt real. It felt like real love. It felt like they really wanted me. They desired me. When in actuality, you were just engaged in a shared fantasy. And I know exactly what that is like. I've experienced it myself quite a few times. I remember at the beginning of the relationship, it felt so real. And now I look back and I can see I was just telling myself in my mind. I was telling myself, yes, this is real. This person can really see me. They want me. They're attracted to me. And I'm attracted to this real person. And we are intimately involved. When they were just stringing me along and selling me a dream. I was a fool. And I couldn't even see what was happening right in front of my eyes. And I know a lot of you can relate to this. I know a lot of you know what it's like. When you had all of these experiences, you've got all of these memories with this person. And so many months or years went by, and then you look back and you realize that it was all in your imagination. It wasn't even real. This intimacy, this connection that you thought you had with them, it didn't even exist. And when you realize that, you have to grieve the false character. Because the entire time you thought it was real, you thought you had something, when you had nothing at all. You really had nothing. If you were dealing with someone who is highly narcissistic, they're self-absorbed and they lack empathy, and maybe they're grandiose as well, they're manipulative. If you were dealing with someone like that, you had nothing. Because they had nothing to give. There is nothing inside of them. There's just no one even there. You know, when we reflect, we introspect, we look within ourselves, we self-loathe, we feel bad about ourselves, sometimes we feel the shame. We have something inside of ourselves. There's this person of who we are. Narcissists do not have that. All they have is a void. And when they're coming back to you, all that's coming back to you is a void. An empty vessel. A meat suit. And that's why when you're around them, it feels like the life is being sucked out of you. Like you're losing touch with your soul. Like you don't even know who you are anymore. And just think about that. Why would you feel that way when you are around a person? The reason why is because there's no one there. The lights are on, but no one is home. There's no one in there. They can't even see you. They can't feel you. They don't even really know that you're there. All they really see is this trophy, this object that exists to serve them, their narcissistic supply. They don't see anything else. They just see a reflection of whatever is going to make them feel good about themselves. And yet you're looking at it like this person, you've had this history with them, these memories, these experiences. You've just got to cut all of that off. Just forget about all of that. Because it was never real. And I know it's hard to accept it. I've had to do it in my own life with several narcissists that I was dealing with. I held on to the false character. I told myself no. All of these times we went to all of these places. We shared all of these feelings, all of these moments together. We were intimately involved. No, it's not true. It was a shared fantasy. It existed only in your minds. And as an empath, your mind, your imagination, it is very powerful. Empaths are very imaginative and creative. So it's very easy for them to trick us. They can just play along with whatever they think is going on in our minds. But that does not mean that it's real. Just look back and think, did you ever even sit down and have a normal conversation with them? Or were there just all of these highs and lows, this emotional roller coaster? It was all just superficial. It never really went anywhere. There was no deep discussion of your emotions, your feelings. There was nothing like that. It was all just an illusion. And that's what they're coming back for. They're only ever coming back for the illusion, the fantasy, from whatever they think that they can get from you. And most often it's just whatever they think is going to make them feel better about themselves. It has nothing to do with you at all. Even when it looks like they're coming back to please you, to satisfy you, to make you happy, it's just in correlation with what they're assuming is going to make them feel better about themselves. It's not independent of it, as it is for us. Like if we can make someone else feel good, it's completely independent of whether or not it's going to make us feel good. We do things that are completely self-sacrificing. And I know many of you can relate to this. But as for the narcissist, it's just all about what's going to make me feel good right now. Forget about everyone else. Forget about what they want, how they feel. And if they can make you feel good, if that's going to make them feel better, then that's fine. Whatever will give them control. Because sometimes they can't do that. They can't just come back and re-idealize you, love bomb you. That may threaten their control if you already know what they're about. Or if they've abused you for such a long time and know you're no longer interested in them. That will just impair their control even more. So remember, it's all about control. They have to manage and control you to then manage these feelings about themselves so that they can feel secure. But you know, this is definitely the part that upsets me in a lot of ways. Of course, I don't want to burst anyone's bubble. But then, yes, in some ways I do. Because I want to bring you back to reality. It's hard for me as well to get on here and to tell you that this relationship you thought you had, these memories, this connection, like yes, it was all fake. It wasn't even real. It was all a dream, a lie. I mean, if it was real, if they really cared about you, where are they now? I mean, they come back sometimes. They apologize. They say that they're going to change. And just give it a few hours, maybe a few days if you're lucky, and then they're back to normal. They never change. Because they never cared. They never loved you. It was all in your heads. And they entertained it. They were attuned to it and they played along with it. And that's all that you had. That's all that it was. So now is the time to wake up. Now is the time to accept something that, yes, it is very painful. I know that myself. Of course, I've been hurt. I've been heartbroken. I felt like my life was pulled apart. This relationship that I thought I had, this love, this connection, the intimacy. I thought it was real. I thought someone actually loved me. Someone cared about me. Someone wanted me to be a part of their lives. I thought they wanted to be a part of mine. I thought I had that for real. And at that time, I wanted it more than anything. Because in a lot of ways, I think I abandoned myself for this dream, this fantasy, believing that someone could give that to me. When in fact, it just doesn't work that way. Relationships, connections, they take time, they take work. People have to build it together, and it needs to be 50-50. It can't just be one person doing all of the work. And this is what we need to understand. When at times we often project this fantasy onto someone else, they manipulate us, they lie to us, they future fake. They tell us, yes, just wait, just keep doing what I want you to do for me, and just give it time, and then you will get what you want out of it as well. But it never happens. They just sell us a dream. And we're waiting and waiting, thinking that one day this person is going to change and they're going to give us what we wanted. A relationship, a connection, marriage, children, a future. All of these things. But they don't even have the mental capacity to give that to you. There's no one even there. There's no person inside of them. And it's very important to know this. If they do come back. Because that is all that is coming back for you. And you've just got to think about it as I do. Do I really want to take the blue pill and enter the matrix again? I mean, it can seem fun at times. It can seem like it might be something you want to be a part of. But it's really nothing more than a dream. And then you start to catch on, and by the end of it, you're left out in the cold. And that's the most painful part of it. But then there's these highs and lows as well, this emotional roller coaster. Where they just never seem to understand us, but we make up excuses for them. We justify it. We blame ourselves, and then they jump on the bandwagon. And then we're just trying harder and harder in an effort to please them. To try to get them to see our side. To try to get them to see things the way that we see things. When that is never going to happen. Because as I said, there's just no one there. They lack empathy. And they have a void. All they've got is these false characters. Sometimes these characters are nice. Sometimes they're not. But either way, these characters are still fake. Some situations, people stay asleep their entire life. You may have seen that yourself. If you've got a narcissistic parent and you have siblings who enable them, maybe they're narcissistic as well. Their entire lives, they're just asleep in this dream, validating the illusion. They never wake up. Because it is very painful. I'm sure those of you who are watching this right now, you're listening to me. It hurts. It hurts your heart. You feel it in the pit of your stomach. You know, narcissists don't get that feeling. They don't experience any of the sensations that we do. You know, that excitement, that arousal, those butterflies. When you meet someone new that you like, or maybe that heartbreak, that pain, that feeling in your chest or in the pit of your stomach. When someone hurts you, they betray you. And then it's like you feel that absence of love. They do not experience any of that. They know that you do. And they reflect it back to you sometimes so that they appear normal. But they do not have that. They do not experience those emotions. And yet for such a long time we thought it was all real. It was not real. It was a game, a means to manipulate and control you. And that's who is coming back. And I won't lie, it can be fun sometimes. There are good times with narcissists, but you just gotta know that it isn't real. When you have something real with someone, it will feel good consistently. It's not just a feeling that it will go away. Everything you have with a narcissist is just dependent on your belief. If you no longer believe in it, it no longer affects you. Because it isn't real. Just opening the window because I like to see the view outside. I think this is Shen Gong in Taiwan. I'm just stopping by here just for one night. And then I'm off to the next place. Just traveling around. Having a lot of fun. Although I will admit that I do miss my Nala. I miss it a lot. I wish she could be here just so I could hold her. There's just something about a pet. This love, this attachment we have to them. They're like our babies, our children. It's like the sentimental value that we have with them. And you feel it, you feel this connection. It's like, even if you go on holiday, you leave your pet behind, you're still thinking about them. You're still hoping that they're okay, even though you don't see them. Even though that they're not physically there with you. That's object constancy. Something that we're supposed to develop in childhood. Unfortunately, again, it's something that narcissists don't have. When you leave the room, when you go out, when you go somewhere, have you noticed how crazy they get? It's like you can't even leave the house for 10 minutes. They're already calling you on the phone. They've got to know where you are, what you're doing. Because in that moment, it's like you're gone. They experience this abandonment anxiety. They start getting really stressed. They feel like they're dying inside. And the reason why is because they lack this object constancy. So when you leave the door, it's like you're gone. But of course, we have that. Even though we may not be around someone, we know it does not mean that we are alone. They are still there. We still have this connection with them. There's still this energetic transaction and we feel it. And it makes us feel good. It makes us happy. Narcissists don't have that. That's why they get obsessed. That's why they can never leave us alone, and they can't be alone. So yeah, just remember this. If they do come back to hoover you, remember who is coming back. Or rather, remember the absence of what is coming back. Because what's coming back is what's going to take from you. And that's all that it is. Narcissism is characterized by an absence rather than a presence. It is the absence of distinguishing features. Which is why whenever you're dealing with them, you just feel like something is missing. Like something's not right. Something's not there. And at times it's like you don't even know what it is. It's just something is missing. And it's like something is missing within you after a certain amount of time. Because they've taken that from you. They steal your life force to sustain them. So just remember that that is what you are bringing back into your life. If you do decide to give them another chance. Anyway, we are coming to the end of this live video now. But before I finish, let me know down below. What do you think about this message tonight? What are your thoughts? And do you have any questions? If you have anything that you would like to ask, do it now down below. And I will read it out and respond to it. Paris Marie says, I think the bad energy they sent towards me returned to them. At times, yes, that can happen. It depends on whether you agree with it or not. Of course, with all of the lies and the gaslighting, they can make us believe in things that we never believed in before. Like if you look at your beliefs and values at the beginning of the relationship, they're very different in the middle of the relationship and at the end. And if we believe in it and we agree with it, then yes, they are taking our energy away from us. But there has to be that agreement at some level. If you don't agree with it, then they cannot take your energy. I appreciate the kind words there from Sandra, Alan, and Mr. Perfect John 5. Free Spirit, thank you for the kind message. And Thompson asks, how can I get the obsessed narc off me? Yes, I'm sure this is a question many people have. Understand that they are drawn to you because of how they think it will make them look to other people, if it will improve their false image. It's not really that they're sexually attracted to you, although again, that can be a part of their image as well. So you might try to do things that make you unattractive or unappealing to their image, things that might threaten their reputation. Yes, at times it can definitely be tempting to want to do that. But you have to understand as well, when you do that, you are making conscious changes to yourself and to your identity in order to affect them or to repel them, to push them away. And that will begin to affect you over time. So even though, yes, that can be effective, you do need to be very careful with that, because you don't want to change yourself in a negative way. So continue being yourself. Continue liking what you like and doing what you like to do. But know that, yes, also, if you do things that threaten their image and reputation, that may make them less obsessed with you. But then at the same time, it may also make them want to punish you. Robert Hazel, thank you for the kind words. Yes, I know a lot of people watch me every day. I do think about it sometimes. I would imagine that there are potentially tens of thousands of people around the world who are watching my videos when they wake up first thing in the morning. I'm sure when they're having their breakfast, when they're getting their kids ready for school, or maybe when they're driving in their car. Maybe last thing, when they're in bed before they go to sleep at night. I do think about that sometimes, and I'm always sending positive vibes to whoever is watching my videos. And just know that I love you all as well. Remember why I do this. I do this for you, to help you to improve your lives. And of course, I get a lot of energy back from you as well. This is an energetic exchange. And yes, it is real. It exists through video content as well. And as I am the creator And you can feel it in your energy and emotions after watching a video. If it vibes with you, it uplifts you. And of course, that energy is coming from somewhere. It's coming from the creator. The person who created it, who stars in it. That's where the energy is coming from. And of course, when people watch the video, then that's sending energy to me as well. And it's likely helping me to feel good throughout the day. Just knowing that I am helping people. I'm improving people's lives. And there's really no better feeling in the world than that. To know that you are making a difference. And that's what I promote. I promote love, empathy, connection, positivity. Anonymous 2281K says, narcissists do not own you. It's true, but they like to think that they do. They do see us as their possession, as something that belongs to them. And they treat us in that way as well. It's pretty funny though when you think about it. Because it's like, okay, you've never actually sat down and had a conversation with me. You don't even really know who I am. But in your mind, you think that you possess me. And that I am your toy, this object. It's really funny when you think about it like that. Because they never do take the time to get to know us. They don't even know who we are. What's this I'm seeing here? I think this Airbnb house is haunted. Someone's saying in the live chat. Do you mean where I am now, or is this you? Quite an unusual thing to see there. Sandra, I'm glad to hear that my videos are empowering and helping you. You know, we're very lucky to have this technology. I know I talk about it all the time, how social media is harmful for people's health. But actually, videos like these, they are very good for us. Just to have this energetic exchange. I mean, you can go into YouTube and you can find something that you won't find in real life. Genuine empaths, people who actually care about you and they want the best for you. You might never have seen that in your friends or family. But you can just go on YouTube and it's right there. And even I myself believe it or not, but I do have quite a few favorites on YouTube that I like as well. And I know I look like an outgoing person, but I do spend quite a few hours of my day watching other YouTubers. Often those who talk about narcissism, but also others as well. So that's another thing that I like to do in my free time. I'm not always just going out exploring, but even when I do in the car, there are certain YouTubers that I like to watch. I'm not going to name too many names, but I think there are a few that I've mentioned already. Of course, as many of you probably know, Dr. Ramani is one of my favorites. And also the Royal We. Some that I've subscribed to even before I made my own channel. So I've been watching them now for probably over 5 years, and pretty much every day. I am a bit of a YouTube addict, I must say. Mary Grace, I'm actually not that young anymore. Now I'm 34. I'm going to be 35 in January. But when I started this channel, I was only 29, I think. So for someone back then, when I discovered what narcissism is all about, I think I was definitely quite young to have known about all of this information. Because looking at my YouTube analytics, it's usually people who are around 35 to 45. But then saying that, I do also have some viewers who are a lot younger than me, maybe as young as 18, who watch my videos. And that's really amazing to see that there are young people who are aware of this. And that may prevent them from getting into their first narcissistic relationship. There are a lot of comments in the live chat. I am reading them, but I can't reply to them all. But know that I do appreciate you all. Every day I read your comments, and I go through my emails as well. If you sent me an email recently, I'm sorry if I haven't replied yet. I do have quite a few emails to get through. But I'm always working every day. Every day I'm researching and creating new videos ready to upload. I do travel quite a lot, but I also balance it out with the work. I've been working very hard now for over 5 years, 5.5 years. I first started researching narcissism back in March 2018. So quite some time ago. And it's amazing for me, even after all of this time, I'm still very passionate about it. Every day I'm very excited to read the comments and to write up a new video. I just have so much passion with giving, sharing, and helping people. It's what I really like to do. But anyway, as you can see, it is getting dark. It's getting late here. Time for me to go out and get something to eat. And then I'm going to come back and finish working on my next video. But I hope this has been good for you. I hope this information has helped. I hope that you can understand now why the narcissist is coming back. It's not really anything to do with you. It's superficial, it's their image. It's whatever makes them feel good about themselves. It's not independent of them making you feel good, making you happy. It never is. So just know that and understand that it was a false character and it's never going to be anything real. So just know that. And if you enjoy this video, you can give it a thumbs up down below. It will help me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As I said, I read your comments every day. And you can share the video and hit the subscribe button to receive notifications for my future videos. And if you'd like to book a one-on-one with me, you can book it on my website. It is narcsurvivor.co.uk. And follow me on Instagram as well. It's Narc Survivor YouTube. You can send me a message, I will reply. And you can also see pictures and videos of my travels on there. So again, thank you all for your time and for your support. And I will be speaking to you in another video tomorrow.